Right, so this is the Bell and Howell 253 AR. Okay, that's what it looks like. To open it up, press the button on the top, and you should be able to pull it towards you. A lot of times you might have the cord around the reel, so obviously you're going to want to undo that. To get the holder things in place, I'm going to undo this, and then what happens is there's a piece right here that you're going to use to get into place, but unfold that. So this is a piece that's on a spring, and you can see that it's got two little like slots there, and so if you turn it the right way, it can go in, but it'll come back down. What you got to do is put it in and then turn it. That way it's locked. And so obviously to release it, you're gonna do that. Another thing that you're gonna want to likely do is this piece on the bottom is a spring, and you can put it where you want it and then tighten it up with this. So if I do it right now, it's tighten it up, it's gonna stay like that. If that's too high when I project, I can loosen it, bring it down to where I want, and tighten that. So that's what that bottom one does. So we'll talk about loading the film in a second. A couple of controls to be aware of. I've plugged it in, so it's off now. That's the motor. So it's basically ready to be engaged. So if I press now forward, the gears start moving. That's still. That reverses. So again, if I do that with the motor off, nothing happens. So the motor allows me to go forward or reverse. The way to actually then play the film is to have it in forward and have the lamp on. And you can only kind of see it. There's the film, the light right there. So if I put my hand over this now, it's pretty warm, and if I kept doing it, it would get hotter and hotter. So when you turn it off, you leave the motor on for a while, and you'll feel, probably within about a minute or so, it'll feel less cool. And that you should do that. You should cool down the lamp by leaving the motor on with the lamp off until you put your hand over it, and it feels, much cooler. That'll decrease the damage, and I can actually stop it from going. So I can just have the motor itself on, cooling, and I can even feel right now, because I only had it on for a minute, that it's already cool, so I can turn it off. So I'm going to turn this around so it's easier to see how you connect to the springs. So again, this is the back one, this is front. There's these springs that are really like the pulleys or the belts. You have to connect it like that. And now, when I turn it on and press forward, you can see that move. To do rewind, I found that you actually have to give this spring a half twist. So you're going to see this twist here, the X. If you have it just like this, it didn't rewind for me. Okay, so if you have it just like a U shape, that doesn't work. You need to twist it once and get an X shape. So now if I press rewind, it's rewinding. So theoretically, you're able to keep the springs on as you do it, and when you engage forward, the back one moves and nothing happens to this one, and when you go and rewind, this one pulls it. I don't know if there's something wrong with mine, but it doesn't work well when I do that. So if I want to play the film forward, I release this. I actually release this and put it down and took it out of the way. If I'm going to rewind, I take this one off and again put that put this one on as an X. And it just goes faster and easier. But since I'm about to play right now, I want to play the film and load it. I'm just going to put the back one on. So about to play. This one's engaged. This one is off. To play the film, I'm going to put an empty reel. And again, on the back, you're going to see that this has, 3 little slots. This side doesn't. So I got to put the side with the slots on here because there's a very small piece here that has to go over one of the slots. Okay? And it's on there. It's easy enough to take off, but it's on there that it doesn't just fall off. Okay? So that's the back one. That's easy enough. So you're going to take your film. And again, this film happens to have those slots. That's going to go in this way. But what you want is the lead hanging off the front. So I'm going to put this on the front. Again, I got that little slot thing. Put it over that. Make sure it's in there. Now here comes the interesting part, somewhat challenging part. So the first thing you're going to do is swing this away. Did that a little hard. So swing that away. It just clips in here, kind of like snaps in, so there's nothing to unscrew or anything like that. Clip it in, clip it out. You should have it so that these little, the feed things are here. And you want to put it in like this. And what's going to happen is you can't shove it through, but this, as you can see, makes these turn. This will be what helps you feed. You can actually go forward or backwards, okay? All right, so I'm going to start it. And I'm going to get it in there, and I try to put it like that. And I just want to get it part way, okay? And now, so I can keep going. And now what I tend to do is actually turn the motor on and go fast forward a little bit. Just a little, not a lot. So see, it got hung up there. A little bit more. Until it's about here for the moment. I actually probably need a little bit more, so I'm just going to feed it. I'm going to turn it off so you can hear. So I'm going to turn it off a little bit more. The weird thing is you need a loop at the top and a loop at the bottom. Okay, so I need a little bit more, and I'm going to start to feed it through here. And again, just want it to pick up, and a sticking point is if I just let it go, it's not going to feed through here, so I got to hold it down. And now I'm pretty good. Okay, it's coming through the other side. I want to even out these 2 loops, and I want to kind of push them in place here. So now that this is through here, I want to kind of have this flat, and I have 1 loop, 2 loops, and I can actually close this door. I'm going to let it go forward a little bit. Oops, I turn the motor off. You can see it got stuck there, so I'm just going to go like that, fast forward. Turn it off, pull it through. Ultimately, I want it underneath this pulley, these 2 pulleys. So this is over it. I want some more. Okay. And what you're going to find on the empty slot, some kind of slot or something where you can actually feed the film into. I'm going to give myself a little bit more. Okay. Feed it into this. And now that should work. I can manually push it forward. So at this point I want to make sure it's through here. You got the loop of film here. It's going through the lens. A second loop here. Through here, coming down, around this pulley, down underneath, and then catches up here. So now when I press forward, it should move. The whole thing should move. And for mine, whether it's right or wrong, it always starts very slowly. But then you can hear it pick up speed a little bit. So to project, and again, this is going to be a pretty small picture, I'm going to direct it got this, and all I have to do is turn the lamp on. And it's going to be a really small picture. You can see it's not in focus, so I'm going to use this to focus it. This is the house set up for Christmas, actually. Some 50s decor. One other control to be aware of is if you have it where 2 frames are showing, so there's that black line there, you can adjust this knob here, up and down, and as I do that, you can see I get it lined up. But that's working pretty good, okay? Once I want to stop the film, I can simply press this lever down and the film will stop. Now if I try to rewind it, it'll screw it up. So if I want to rewind from this point, I'm going to take this off, and this is where I'm going to put this and twist it. And you're going to see, oops, then when I rewind, and actually I can turn the light off if I'm rewinding. This is a slow way to rewind. If I had actually watched the full reel, I would not have it running through the motor. I would just go from here to there to rewind it, and it would be significantly faster. But I'm not going to watch the whole thing for the purposes of this. Be aware as it rewinds the last little part here, it's going to pick up speed significantly, so you want to have your hand on it so it doesn't go flying off, and then stop it. And again, I have the lamp off, right? There's no light, but the motor's still on until I put my hand here and it's cool. I search thrift stores, Goodwills, garage sales, and more for possible treasures. Then I decide whether to purchase or pass. Watch what I do and decide for yourself. Would you buy it?